and being with them, and because I knew that when I was there, they loved me, and that was probably the only place that I felt real love, because at home I never knew what that was. And for young girls, I think an important thing is that when you're abused like that, you think love is sex. And when you give your body to someone, that they love you. But that is not at all what it is. You know, love is so much more than that. And for a young girl, you should protect yourself and be, you know, modest and just protect who you are.
Now, you moved out when you were 17.
Yes.
So what was your step there? I mean, did you feel like you were free, or were you just scared to death?
No, I couldn't wait to leave.
Okay. So where was your first move? Where did you go at 17?
I was actually removed from my home by a social worker, and I went to live with my grandparents, which was a godsend, and they loved me so much. So I went to live with them, and I felt safe with them, and that's where I lived. And then from there on, I finished high school and got married at the age of 18.
So how did the first marriage go? I mean, with the weight that you're carrying around and the things that you had to deal with at such a young age, I mean, how did that affect you in your romantic life and just friendships?
It was really hard. As far as, you know, my romantic life, it was very hard for me to actually, I know it's kind of funny, but it was hard for me to have sex with my husband because I couldn't get past what had happened, and it was so fresh, and I had just gotten out of that environment. So for him, I'm sure that was a lot to deal with, and we had a lot of issues as far as that was concerned. But I ended up getting pregnant 5 months after I got married, and I had my son. And my son actually brought a lot of healing to my life. Just having someone besides myself to take care of and focus on. But as far as the sexual part of it, it was extremely hard for me. And we stayed married for 12 years, and we both tried, and there were a lot of, you know, issues with the marriage, and, you know, it always takes two to make issues. So it was my issues, his issues, different things. But at 30 is when I think that I finally just became just a mess, just a mess. So I think it all just came out, and I became a mess.
Why do you think it took 25 years?
I think that for the 12 years I was married to my first husband, we had 3 children, and just, you know, 3 beautiful children, and we were focused on them, and I was trying to keep it together, and I was trying to pretend to be something that I wasn't, you know. We went to church every Sunday, and I believed in God, but I didn't really know who he was, so I just kind of went through the motions, and inside of my heart I didn't really think that God existed, because I thought if God existed, why in the world did I go through something so horrific as I did? And he must be a terrible God. So throughout the 12 years, I just kind of went through the motions, raising my children, and, you know, and trying to keep our family together, because I didn't want a broken home. I mean, who does? No one wants a broken home. And I wanted my 3 children to be raised up in a home that wasn't broken, and that, you know, we kept together, and we both loved our children very much. So, but at the end, it just didn't work that way, and, you know, we had to go our separate ways. But as far as, you know, that at 30 is when I think that I just let it all go. Like, I finally
we're going to talk about maybe some specifics on what you did at 30, but let's flash back to 15 again, because that's when you first started contemplating suicide. So I guess what was going through your mind? Was it just you wanting to escape, wanting to get out? You didn't see any other options?
Yeah, sorry. I really didn't expect to get so emotional over it. But at 15, I didn't see any other options, no. At 15, I just wanted out. I thought that my mom's husband was the most evil person. And my mom wasn't protecting me, and I didn't have anyone to trust. And my grandparents were such a big influence in my life, but you couldn't really go tell anyone because I was too scared to, you know. because if you've ever been abused, and if there's anyone out there that is being abused now or ever has, like, you will completely understand that it's just, you are so scared of that person. You're scared they're going to hurt you more. You have no idea. So at 15, I had so much pain inside of me that I just wanted it to end, and I thought ending my life would end the pain.
What convinced you to hold on?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, I look at you. I mean, at 15, you've been stuck in this nightmare for 10 years. What you said, you went into a closet, I think,
yes.
And you had a gun with you.
I had a really small closet in my bedroom, and my mom's husband was a big hunter. I have no idea how to use a gun, mm-hmm. But I went in there, took one of his guns, and I just wanted to actually blow my brains out. I just wanted to end it all, and something stopped me. And now, you know, I know what it was. I know that it was something bigger than me that had something better for my life. So mm-hmm. At that point, I didn't know, though, but now I do know that it was something that, you know, God wanted me to speak and to tell my story and to be strong, because I'm not one to hold back. I speak my mind. So he knew that I would have a voice one day. At that time, I didn't have a voice, but one day he knew I would. Mm-hmm. So I believe that is what I'm here for today.
Right. I want you to give Stephanie a hug right now. Give her 2 hugs. These are from Tegan and Martin. They're in the chat. They wanted to give you some big hugs.
Well, thank you, Tegan and Martin.
And then I'm one for me.
Okay, thank you, Allie.
Now, just recently, I know we're going back and forth, but I'm trying to piece everything together so people can kind of sort of follow it. But at 17, you moved in with your grandparents.
Yes.
Now, just recently, you just lost your grandmother.
I did.
Yeah. So that was just a few days ago, just a week or two ago.
Was.
Yeah. I know that's a touchy subject, but I mean, for you, I mean, it's got to be tough. I mean, she was like your beacon, I guess, during that time in your life.
She was always that for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you just recently lost her. And she's been, I guess, battling this and dealing with this for years. I guess.
She had dementia for 5 years. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she's been battling it. But she was one of the strongest women I know, and mm-hmm. There's so much I could say about her, but
so you get it honest then, being strong.
Yeah, she's very strong.
Yeah,
I mean, she didn't want to give up on life. You know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she didn't. So she hung in there until God took her home. But yeah,
So she was definitely there in your life when you needed her the most.
She was.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, so we've bounced back and forth. 15 was the first time you'd really contemplated killing yourself. We don't know why you didn't, but we're glad you didn't, for sure.
Yeah, me too.
So before you hit 30 and things really went to hell, what happened in between there? Was it just sort of a back and I know you were married, but did you ever think about it again during that time?
Not so much. I was depressed a lot
mm-hmm.
during that time, but it was kind of, you're raising 3 small children. I had them
mm-hmm.
really close together, so you don't really have time to think about yourself.
Sure, and that kind of changes things a little bit, I guess.
It changes things,
Yeah, because I guess you would worry about them if you weren't there. So I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
Sure. So then 30 hit, and you said things just really at that point became a mess. Like give me
a big
some
mess.
Yeah.
My husband and I divorced, and it just became a mess. My boys. It's very personal, so to get into this is extremely personal, but my boys stayed with him and my daughter came with me, so it was a separate household. It was very divided. I was a very selfish person. It's hard to admit, but I was a selfish mom. Mm-hmm. I didn't expect to get so much.
Just bawl. It's okay. It's okay.
But I was, and I was wild. Mm-hmm. Just so wild, and
you're still a little wild. I mean, let's be honest.
But in a good way, okay?
right.
But just wild, and just doing my thing, being selfish, and partying, and just trying to release all the pain that was inside of me. But I didn't really realize that's what I was doing. So I was doing everything that caused me pain. so much. So much stuff. Lots of partying.
Yeah. So then you had those thoughts entered your mind again in your 30s.
Yes.
All right. So
all the time.
Lead me up to it this time. Give me like an example of like when you were 15, you went into the closet. Like what were you thinking this time? What was your way out?
When I was 30, I just, I partied. I was just more of a party girl. I had, my daughter, and I was selfish. I would go out and drink, and didn't really care too much about myself. I didn't care what I did or what time I came home or any of those things. And, talking about my granny, she was, just a huge beacon in my life, but she would constantly lecture me, about being a good mom and doing what God wants me to do. And of course I wasn't listening to her.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you when she told you those things at 30 and I'm assuming you were selfish, you were stubborn at the time.
Oh yeah. Still am.
Did you resent her at that time in your life?
No, I never resented my grandmother. I never ever had I always had the utmost respect for her, and I loved her too much to ever resent anything she said, but you know how we are. So, whatever people say, we're just like, okay. I'm fine, Granny. You don't have to worry, because she worried to death about me. So
sure.
And she had every reason to.
Yeah. Now,
she just didn't know everything.
I'm going to make you feel good for a second. Kristen says, "Hey, Stephanie, you are truly an inspiration, and you are so strong and courageous for overcoming your struggles." And then Penny says, "Hey, Stephanie, you are so strong, and I know this is definitely the hardest thing you've done. I am so proud of you. We love you, girl."
Oh, thanks. I love you guys, too.
Yeah. So they're over in the Spreaker chat. If you guys don't mind, go over to the christopprogram.com, and it'll be easier for me to check it there. I just kind of come back here every once in a while to check things.
But if you people on Team Stephanie here,
we do. Stephanie's got a big support team. And if you're listening to this on iHeartRadio and you're confused about what I'm talking about with the chat, it's actually on the christopprogram.com, and that's available when there's live shows, so you can interact, ask questions and stuff like that. We got a lot of shy people in here today. I know there's a lot of people listening, but there aren't too many talking. So feel free, guys. I mean, Stephanie's an open book. So feel free to jump in and ask some questions or make some comments if you want to, or if you just want to listen, like whatever. I know this isn't normally what we do. I get that. But maybe you know somebody that's going through similar things, or maybe you have thought about this stuff yourself. I mean, Stephanie would be a great person to talk to, and I'm betting, and I'm going to speak for her. I mean, I'm betting if you were to reach out to her, she would be more than happy to talk to you.
Definitely.
Yeah. Now, how can they get in touch with you online? I know you've got a Twitter.
I do. I also have Facebook and email.
Okay, so if they want to get in touch with you, they on your Twitter, it's Gemini 061873 is your Twitter handle.
Legit.
Yeah, and then if they want to contact you on Facebook, how do they do that?
It's Stephanie Curto, Curto.
All right, now we're going to take a.
I always pronounced it Cuto before. I don't know.
She's probably okay with that.
I'm okay with that. It's not my favorite last name.
But we're going to take a quick little break, maybe get some Kleenex out, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about a little more in depth of how you, I guess, overcame some of this stuff and how you're still here. Because I mean, for me, I don't know. I mean, I look at your life and I just think, could I have made it through that? I mean, it's a lot. It's a heavy thing to carry.
Hey, I'm going to write a book one day. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, and Martin's got a great question, and I think we'll answer that when we come back. He wants to know if you're still struggling with it. So we'll save that one for sure, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But don't go anywhere. We've still got at least 30 minutes or so right here on the Chris Top program.
The Top, broadcasting worldwide on iHeartRadio and Spreaker.com. Are you ready to be a podcast superstar? Publishing your podcast is a simple 3-step process.
Produce your podcast.
Write your blog post.
Publish.
Think of it as a recipe. WordPress plus PowerPress plus Blueberry hosting equals success.
No third-party sites
You
to log
never
into.
leave your own website.
You remain in control.
You own your RSS feed.
Go to the Chris Top program.